Hi guys, welcome back to Filmy Fool. Today I am talking about a new series that I discovered. This one's called Supercell.
Find them before it's too late.
Funny enough, I have a really long watch list, movies, series, and Supercell was not really part of that list. I was intrigued by the concept because if you've been around long enough, you know there was a fabulous show called Heroes. It was possibly one of the greatest pilot seasons for any show that I have seen ever. As you might have guessed, Supercell is a fantasy action genre series which is short and crisp. It is 6 episodes long, immensely entertaining show. I was not expecting to get as immersed and as attached to the show when I began watching it. I thought I'll be watching it in between, like when I had 10-15 minutes to watch something, I'd watch something like this. And so this was supposed to be a filler show for me. Little did I know that I'm gonna get pulled into this because that's the kind of show it is. And I'm gonna talk about why that happened.
Into the future. That wasn't a dream.
Straight off the bat, this is a highly character-driven show, and that's one of the biggest highlights. I'm comparing this to Hero because the concept is very similar. It's about everyday individuals finding superpowers. There is a slight bit of difference from the setting as well as protagonists that they have taken. The setting is London, and hence you get the accents. I love the accents there, so it's just a nice vibe to it. It's southern London.
I don't think you should be using your powers for personal gain.
The background is there is a rare disease called the sickle cell disease which affects or impacts people from African descent. And in this case, if one or two of your parents had sickle cell disease, then there is a very small probability that one of your children might develop a supercell. That is a mutation of the sickle cell. The sickle cell is a disease, the supercell becomes the X gene which gives you superpower. I'm referring to now X-Men, where there is a X gene found in certain people who are able to develop superpowers. Because it affects people from African descent, all the protagonists are from that lineage, and hence it gives it a very different flavor from anything else that you may have watched.
You married me? Yeah.
Promise me you're not going to go back.
Something that I really enjoyed here was the fact that the number of characters was less. 5 characters that the show focuses on. Each of the episodes, the 6 episodes, the first 5 focus on one of these characters while the others keep making appearances, but the narrative is slightly skewed towards one of these characters in each of the episodes, and the 6th episode is the finale where everything goes down. The fact that the show is able to dedicate this much time to each of its characters is why each of them is so fleshed out. You are able to understand the motivations behind the characters' actions. You are able to see the background for each of them. You know where they're coming from, how they live their lives, and what makes them tick. Hence, you are more immersed and more involved in the show overall because you feel for these characters. There is no choice. I did not have a choice. I didn't realize when I got sucked into it.
If you can save her, you need all 4. If one dies, she dies. Find them before it's too late.
And while all of these characters are from African lineage, all 5 of them belong to very different backgrounds in the way they were born and brought up, in the way they live. And hence, you've got nuances that each of them brings to the storyline and eventually to the group. The actors are new. I haven't seen too many of those actors before. Hence, it's a very fresh take on not just the superhero genre. While I said it resembles Heroes in a lot of ways with the regular everyday people developing powers, but the overall storyline is different. The narrative is structured is very different from Heroes. Each of the actors does a fabulous job here, some outshining the others, but all of them play their part really well. There are a couple of the actors who I really loved, and they really did shine bright. Tossin, who plays Michael, and Nadine, who plays Sabrina, both of these guys were fantastic. I think the layers that they bring to their characters is fantastic. Sabrina breaking down in the hospital is fabulous, and so many scenes where Tossin, who plays Michael, brings about the depths of what he's feeling, his relationship with Dion, his relationship with his mother, and overall the weight of putting this all together. I think it is depicted beautifully and portrayed so well by Tossin. Hats off. I loved his performance. The writing is largely crisp, because there are just 6 episodes, each one episode, like I said, dedicated to one character. While the episodes are 50 odd minutes long, so there is plenty of story to tell, it doesn't feel like the show drops anywhere. Hence, the pace is very nice and you can really binge this, especially after the first episode. Once you get a hang of what the overall vibe is, you will really want to binge this and go through with all the 6 episodes in one go. I really wanted to, and I had to stop myself because on some days it was really late and I had to get to sleep so that I could get to work on time. The overall narrative is able to build this tense atmosphere because you really feel for the characters. You want them to succeed. The atmosphere gets tense because it's very edgy in that sense that will it happen, will it not happen. So overall, I loved the way this was written, the way this was performed. Another good thing about this was the use of background score. I thought it was really nice. It was very effective. I've spoken about background score in a lot of other shows as well. Arcane is a mind-blowing example of this. In my year roundup, I also spoke about Fallout, where the background score is fantastic. But those two, one created songs, Arcane created songs for the show. Fallout had reused songs from the 50s, 60s era. In this case, this is effective background score because it really elevates what action is going on screen. They don't use songs per se. Sometimes they do, but overall, I thought it was a really nice sound design and really good background score.
You know how it feels.
Another feather in the cap for this show is the fact that it minimizes special effects. Now, in a show with superpowers, you'd think that it will be full of special effects and powers here, people flying and this and that. But the beauty of this writing is that they are able to manage the narrative and the overall storytelling without getting into too many action scenes or too many long drawn action scenes, because this is not Avengers. We're not talking the Flash or the Arrow or any of the DC shows. This is not like that. This is still very much understated. This is still a character driven storyline that I was talking about. That's why I like this show so much, because it doesn't feel frivolous like any CW superhero show that we've had in the past, from Flash to whatever of tomorrow, and I forgot the others. Yeah.
To not be able to provide for your son.
Overall, Supercell was an unexpected delight. I wasn't thinking that I'm going to like it so much. Like I said, I got pulled into the show and the world. I loved it. I really enjoyed watching it. It was very entertaining and very breezy. So it's 6 episodes. I finished them in no time, and I'm really waiting for season 2 to come out. It's not going to change your life. Let me put it that way. It's no Shogun, and I'll be talking about that in one of my future videos. This is no Shogun. This is no Arcane or Fallout. This is a show that you watch when you have some time at your hand, and it's not gonna play a trick on your mind. You don't have to be invested really to know what's going on. You don't have to listen at every minute. Like the world of OTT says, this is pretty second screen. I didn't watch it like second screen. I didn't have my phone on. I usually try and don't. But this is second screen for a lot of people, and you will still end up enjoying this show. So Supercell is streaming on Netflix. You can go ahead and watch it. If you like it, let me know. If you didn't, do let me know why. I'd love to have a chat with you on comments. See you, take care, and keep watching Filmy Fool. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. That's the way it goes.